Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good middle of the night, Alex. Thank you for tuning in for an OTSL Silver playoff game. Hope you were just over on JR's channel watching him finish off an RTSL win. He's 2-0 in this RTSL season on his way to the Stalin Division. I wonder what it's like to win an RTSL game. That must be fun. Last year, it went 500 in RTSL and managed to stay in the Stalin division by playing 5 extra games to do so. So I don't really know what it's like to win RTSL games. That doesn't happen very often. But yeah, today we've got an OTSL Silver game, Browning Gentry and Chris Flynn. So it's OTSL Silver. We'll go time and a half speed for this one. And let's get to it. That was sparkling water, JR, but sure, we'll say it's beer. Yeah, little LaCroix, beach plum flavor. Decided to go with that. And I haven't forgotten to switch the screen, just waiting for acceptance here on the video. Okay, and we are underway. So we may have an animation mod situation. Key lime, overrated. I'm a mojito guy. I like the mojito flavor. Browning is a computer science whiz. And he's got some kind of mod here that lets him see the entire board. So that's pretty cool too. And so, okay, the faster speed may be a little bit distracting. It may make things a little bit distracting. However, I don't want to slow it down because these are 90. This game does have 90-minute clocks, so it might go a little slow if we went at regular speed. So we are going to go 1.5 speed here. Okay, but Browning with a huge ops hand. He's got 3 4-ops. He's got sock govs. And another 3-op on top of that. So hold sock govs for blockade. So headlines for Mosin. Not sure I love that. I think EEU would probably be my headline. It is one more op, but it takes away Italy access, takes away D-stall food, makes Europe weaker. But Formosan's fine, especially if we have a plan. We certainly do have the ops to fill Taiwan if we like. Yeah, 4-3-3 headline Europe would have been fine. Okay, and a coup there from Chris. He tries just a 2-op coup, which is a sign of a little bit of weakness, but rolls a 6 on Iran to flip it. Standard 4-op response. Lebanon to Egypt and Malaysia. We'll see if Chris wants to try a duck coup. If he doesn't, South Korea or space would be quite reasonable. Oh, Korean War. So my play here would be to immediately take South Korea. If you're going to punt Korean War for ops like that, yeah, 100%. Just do that. That thing you were pointing to, Browning, just do that. Yeah, I'm absolutely taking South Korea. Make him redraw it, and then make him trigger it and make him win it. Okay, Browning tries the coup instead. This is a fine play, but I think it could have potentially waited. It does give him a temporary Middle East dom. And Chris early on is playing like a man who does not have a good hand. So I doubt he's got a 4-op to just take South Korea and Iran back. Otherwise, we would have seen it to take South Korea before he punted the war. And now we will see if he has decall, as JR suggests. Oh, gotta go D-stall. Yeah, and again, I'm gonna pick on Browning a little bit here. EEU would have made that extremely uncomfortable. Browning gonna take another shot at Iran and misses again. Oh man. Yeah, so he needed a 4 to get into Iran. Could have gone Venezuela, which would have cleared him out of there. But I don't mind taking the shot at Iran. I might have taken a bigger coup, though, which would have gotten him in there. I think that was probably worth a 4-op. But okay. Now thinking about a poke of Thailand, which does make sense. You want to give yourself, potentially force him to spend ops in, force him to obviously retake Thailand, but also spend ops in those Southeast Asian countries. Meantime, we're already running low. We're running a little bit low on ops. I still would like to see South Korea taken, especially because we might need it to stop Asia Dom. And Chris's D-stall did not threaten France. I really, just personally, I don't love, and blockade event. Personally, I just don't love the D-stall of 2 into Thailand. It often... and unless we are so desperate, we need it. Unless we missed a coup on Iran, we're so desperate we need Thailand to stop Asia Dom. I just find those D-stall ops can be spent elsewhere. And sure enough, Browning flips Thailand back. That blockade should have just taken Thailand back. Okay, and there goes 5-year plan on Middle East. So I don't understand at all Chris's play to take Syria when he had 5-year plan Middle East. That really doesn't make much sense to me. But okay, here we are on turn 2, and Chris's hand is just, it kind of shows you a little bit what can happen when you have a hand that has lots of access but very few ops. It just didn't have much in the way of ops to back it up. Okay, so de Gaulle is around to threaten Europe, as is Suez. Duck, I suppose, is an okay headline here, but it's terrible against a de Gaulle headline. Marshall doesn't do a ton for us. NATO was seen. We had NATO turn 1. Asia is reasonable. We have decall. A Vietnam headline on Chris's part would give him Dom, but we have Vietnam in our hands. So yeah, Asia is safe. And there goes Purge. That's what we did not want to see. So, okay. We get Asia off for -1. Now we'll see how aggressive Browning wants to be in Europe. I don't love that blockade event from Chris. I just don't think it was necessary, especially with decall, with D-stall in his already triggered. This is a Venezuela coup, trying to roll a 4. He will miss. Browning has struggled with rolling the dice, but this is one of those classic dice versus ops games. And so I did see I think that one could have waited as well. I did see de Gaulle in Chris's hand. So if Browning, ordinarily with blockade gone, Marshall into France is a reasonable play, but it's going to immediately be met with de Gaulle, and then we can't refill. Okay, yeah, containment event. Containment event is going to get us, so we're not going to space D-stall. We're not going to space decall. Containment will get us 4 ops. So I think that's probably worth it. Well, I got to think we'll hold decall here. Yeah, I think the containment event is good there. Oh, I don't. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's simply a mistake there by Chris. You need to wait until Browning triggers France, unless your plan is to immediately take Algeria, which you should be doing. That can wait until Browning fills up France. That okay? Oh, and both players kind of fight. No, neither player really pushed hard there in South Korea. Chris finally does come back to it. Let's get Algeria, Browning. Algeria. Yep, that one. Yep. Good. I like that play. I also do like overprotecting France before the end of the turn. And then we're probably gonna have to take both Malaysia and Philippines to stop Dom, because I would give Vietnam here and be done with it. Alternatively, yeah, that doesn't bother me. Alternatively, we could put this. This may be a situation where it's a little nutty. But this might be a situation where you take special, you put one of special into Vietnam, and then you trigger Vietnam and you put the two ops of Vietnam in there to keep it. Because it could end up being an important country for Asia Dom. So you could overprotect France with one of the ops, take Vietnam with the other, then the Vietnam ops go Vietnam. Spacing Vietnam? I don't know how much I love that. And now we redraw Asia. Okay. I think I might rather just given Vietnam and either taking Vietnam with the ops or taking Philippines to stop Dom. But okay, it looks like we're going to try and get off an Asia Dom here. Again, though, a Vietnam redraw. Okay, Fidel. Annoying to see, but a Vietnam redraw would have been 4 VPs there. See, I don't love that play by Browning, but it works out for him. I think I would have preferred to see 1 Philippines, 1 France with the ops. Yeah, JR points out correctly that Chris destalled putting 2 ops into Southeast Asia, 2 ops into Thailand. He got the coup on Iran, and yet we got out of Asia in the early war twice with no Dom. That is huge. Okay, we retake Algeria. AI war is mildly annoying. I think we'll see decall space. The question is, will we see AI war UN or will we see UN held? Yeah. Okay, and Saudi just doesn't seem that important to me. I would be filling up South America, not the Middle East, even if I had the scoring. Those extra ops for limited VP payoff are not, just don't matter that much. I'd be filling up South America. Okay, gonna space defectors. Okay, gets you 2 VP instead of giving 1 up, so it's a 3 VP swing, which is nice, but you risk this. Okay, and you also risk not being able to fill it up before the end of the turn. Okay, finally does get 1 in there. Yeah, and Browning needs to walk here. I might just go 2 Mexico, 1 Angola with this. Do this. Next one can go one Zaire, one France, one Guatemala, one Colombia. Then maybe we finish with AI. Or a UN of AI. Okay, and now he spaces Marshall, which Marshall's a good card to space on turn 3, but now we've only got 4. Chris only has 4 ops. In South America, it's turn 3 AR6. That's just not nearly enough. Chris will have Headline Peak going into the mid-war, but that can be a curse as much of a blessing. Oh, now he has to give EEU. Yeah, I would have much rather spaced EEU and given the 1 VP of Defectors if we really felt like we were going to space. Wow, only 4 influence in South America. That's just a mistake by Chris. And if Chris has got to get more in there, we'll see if Browning can punish that. He can't really. Does not draw VOA. Doesn't really draw any cards to contest South America with. So IP War seems fine here. CMC is probably the headline to protect Africa. Yeah, CMC to protect Africa, and then if Chris decides he wants to coup Cameroon to get a shot at Nigeria, Browning can use NTB and take Cuba for central control. Yeah, I like CMC here. Nuke subs and go to town and south? I guess. I think I like CMC better to protect Africa and just hope south doesn't come. CMC is also good if we're going to trigger Salt. I don't know what's in the discard that we're really excited about. Okay, well, there's something that we're really excited about. And a quick purge. So this can be, that. And then if we flips, we probably just see a nuke subs event here. And now we've got a handful of 1-ops, so are very vulnerable to jams. Vulnerable to jams in Europe. I don't think we'll see jams in the Middle East. Obviously no access in Central. Truman is gone. It's okay, yeah. Just a flip of Zaire, which makes sense. Nuke subs trigger is fine here. Yeah, I would have meant this. Yep. Okay, so now if Chris has the scoring, he's going to go ahead and drop it right here. Okay, I don't understand this. You're giving... I don't understand flipping Angola. Much better to just fill up South America. You're just giving good coup targets and good use for these 1-ops. Just coup Angola. Yeah. Well, roll better than that, but just try this again. IP War would be huge if we hit it, but I think it's more valuable as a coup. Omit is valuable as well. And we could also salt AR7, which could pick us up some VPs. Yep, Angola coup. There, he gets a big roll. Okay, now the Botswana play is just meaningless. You knew you were going to lose Angola. And you take the Botswana coup and take Botswana, which now does very little. I'm now thinking very hard about triggering Salt, picking up Purge. We haven't seen any of the really bad US 2s yet. But even then, okay. Ooh. All right. Comic-Con and Quag obviously go. And then we'll keep... Gonna get rid of ABM. Yeah, I think getting rid of ABM's fine, given that you have Thailand. Keep the others. Yeah, and then, well, not only that, you get rid of ABM, you can pick it up with Salt. But 2s are unspaceable here for Chris. Chris way ahead on the space race. Decall also in the discard, keep in mind. Salt event here would also get us a VP. There's Cambridge. Okay, finally putting more into South America. Yeah, ABM's fine. Okay, this hand looking much better. The Pope, very dangerous card. Puppets can help us in Central. It can get us into Afghanistan and Burma. So that's not nothing. Camp David's a little bit annoying. But yeah, I think an ABM headline is fine, particularly with Missile Envy lurking. Missile Envy is going to be painful, though, if that's a headline. Yeah, and there it is. Going to hand over Brezhnev, which you really don't want to do. You really don't want to give Brezhnev in a situation where Chris can't space the bad US2, CRG, VOA, grain, all around and unspaceable. Yeah, so giving this hurts because now you're going to give 2 coups. So presumably Zaire and Nigeria are both getting couped now. But we got a foothold in South America, which was very important. And Kitchen now active, although I suspect when we see 2 battlegrounds flipped in Africa, it will no longer be so. Oh, he goes Panama. That's very surprising. I'd just be taking 2 coups in Zaire. Even just giving up this domination in Central is just 2. Just 2 VPs, whereas 2 coups in Africa. Oh, no, he misses. He tries the 1-op coup and misses. Wow. So bad rolls. Certainly can blame bad rolls there, but I think that is needlessly greedy. Okay, Missile Envy. I would be trying, I'd be very seriously considering even realigns in Brazil. You hit even realigns in Brazil would be just so incredibly huge. But instead, we're going to threaten Cuba, which makes sense. And there goes Burma, which kind of foils our puppet plan. So we can try the realigns now in Cuba. Camp David event is fine. Yeah, the problem is we got so Pope's an event, Puppets is an event, Kitchen is an event. Vietnam is a little bit of an annoying card. Could potentially get spaced. Puppets actually could go into Vietnam and then Vietnam AR7 to hold it. Or AR6, I guess, because we're giving Brezhnev AR7. And there's Usuri. A key miss on space. Vietnam going to get spaced. Okay, so going to give him the opportunity to double space if he wants to, but if he does, we'll be able to get into Chile and set up realigns on Brazil. Now I'd space. Okay, and he hits the roll to stop the double. Yeah, I don't understand the greed there to try and flip Panama. I would have just tried to get out of Africa control. And just a one-up, that plays fine. I would get Kitchen off now. No. Just take your 2 VPs. I don't understand that. Browning, I would just take my 2 VPs. That's much better than one-op in a non-battleground. And you get to poke your opponent in the chest. Yeah, we got to take our VPs there. Flip the track from red to blue. Okay, I do see why Browning decided not to space Vietnam first, because if he spaced Vietnam, surely Chris would have taken Vietnam anyway. Browning decided to take it first, so I like that play. Okay, Pope event is good. That'll just get covered. Warsaw is around, so I doubt that Browning will be pushing hard in Poland. Thinking about maybe a jammy jam of Chile. Could be thinking about a filling up of Israel. Yeah, that's not bad either. Then Sadat gives a shuttle-aided Dom. Oh, Realigns of Cuba. Realigns of Cuba is good too. Yeah, that's probably best. Will he clear him out? He will not. And we go to turn 6. This is a nice hand. Easy grain. The question always, a little bit of a debate there between grain and junta. Junta's better for evening up South America. But if Chris draws something to attack another region, because there are, wow, count them, Southeast, Middle East, Africa, South, Central, and Europe. By my count, there are 6 scoring cards out there. It's turn 6, and none of them are in our hand. Yeah, Junta's better for contesting South America, but Grain may be better to fight off a headline in another that helped them in another region. Yeah, Chris could have 6 scoring cards. Grain could just pull Africa right here. You just score it for a nice easy 10. JR makes a good point. Yeah, Chris may have just a fistful of scoring cards here. Oh, going to headline, we will bury you. Oh, and a brush pull. Well, that's an automatic success and flip of a battleground. This is an easy Brazil. JR, hope you're watching. Okay, we will bury you. And with UN around, though, unless, and I believe Missile Envy is gone. I believe Quagmire gone as well. So Browning's going to get out of that, and we will bury you. It does stop the coup, at least. That should have been Panama. That should have been Panama. No way is Chris realigning with Panama contested. Okay, so we will bury you, Libs, and Brush, all gone from Chris's hand. Still no scoring cards. All 6 remaining cards could be scorings. It's not impossible. Browning, I would say, is way ahead in this game, but he's only up. He's down 1 VP on the board. Okay, and there's a South America Dom. I think Israel's fine. This is one of those rare instances. Chris will play a scoring right here, I think. This is one of those rare instances where realigning a non-battleground makes a tiny bit of sense. Okay, still no scoring. 4 cards left. I think you have to overprotect that, don't you? No, okay. Gonna coup Saharan. Now we could see Zaire flipped. Space shot. Still no scorings. My goodness. Warsaw going to space. I'd have spaced South African there. I held Warsaw. Warsaw's a card. Now, yeah, I think that's a mistake. Warsaw is a card you want to hold. Oh, no, wait. We can't. That's right. We UN. Scratch that. Scratch everything I said. Good play. It's fine to give up South African. You don't want to give up Warsaw. I was thinking we want to hold Warsaw, space it turn 7, so we don't have to worry about it the whole day war. But of course, we UN, so Browning can't hold anything. Scratch everything I said. I'm fine giving South African here. It's AR5. There are 6 scoring cards out there, folks. China. Okay, so now we've lost Zaire. Still have a comfy Dom, but, well, actually not that comfortable. Chris is just one op away from stopping Dom. So this, I assume this could be 2 South Africa. I personally would go let this go 1 South Africa, 2 Angola, and then Browning should respond 1 South Africa, 1 Angola. Yep, that's the play. Okay, finally, a scoring card. And there's OPEC. Okay. So, wow. Hard to believe this, but when he empties Brazil. Okay, so Middle East and South America in Browning's hand. Central, I believe. I had to look away for a second. And Europe, along with Southeast Asia in Chris's hand. And Sadat is a great headline. That gives a shuttle-aided domination to Browning in the Middle East. Flower power is in effect, so IP war would cost Browning 2 VPs for the privilege of inventing it. He could space it and hold Che, or vice versa. Okay, Central just going to give away the 2 VPs there. Okay, now the question. I think you repair here. I think you use a 3-op and repair Argentina and take Brazil. Right? And you give up the coup. And then Browning for just going to coup Argentina and hit the roll. Okay, so now I don't love that play from Chris. I would have tried to get domination there. And very quickly to Portugal. Brush is gone. Maybe Browning doesn't realize Brush is gone because he pulled it. Yeah. Okay, I would score Middle East now. Okay, South America, I guess, is fine. I believe Southeast Asia also in Chris's hand. So CRG is to put one. Oh, an Asia redraw, yeah, and that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Yeah, that's a mistake from Browning. Nice play there from Chris to score Asia before Browning scored the Middle East. That's going to cost Chris 3 VPs in the Middle East. Now, of course, it does get him one in Asia, so it's only a 2 VP difference. But yeah, Middle East had to go first to prevent that. No, this can wait. This can wait. Okay, I mean, nice roll, but still that could have waited. I would trigger CRGs first, given that Southeast Asia is known in Chris's hand. Oh, and Vietnam is redrawn. Wow. No. Just use Usuri for this. Just use Usuri for this, right? You could just use Usuri and flip back Laos and Vietnam. Okay. Well, gets 4 there. Yeah, and Middle East, that would have us on the doorstep. CRG's was also a very reasonable play there after Vietnam. Yeah, I think that's a mistake by Browning. He needed to get CRG's off. It's not going to do a ton in Africa. Get CRG's off with Southeast Asia scoring in Chris's hand. Even with Vietnam in effect. Okay, so we had 5 known scorings out there, and Asia was redrawn. So the only region yet to score is Africa. Browning up 15 VPs. He's going to stay that way, presumably for a while, because there's only 1 scoring left, and it's a good one for him. Still not quite sure I understand the 2 Portugal. Maybe, was just worried about brush. Okay, here we are, turn 8. Yeah, Chernobyl is not particularly effective given that Warsaw is still around. North Sea could be good. Stop OPEC. You're going to give up probably... No, you're going to... you could space Willie. I guess you're spacing Willie, maybe triggering the war. Okay, decides to go Nixon. Yeah, Nixon, I guess, is an event we were triggering anyway, so that's fine. Browning at this point with 3 strong dominations, 2 regions that are even, and then Asia. Chris may end up being behind battlegrounds. If he gets India, he'll be ahead. He'll dominate there as well. If he doesn't, he'll still have enough countries to stop Dom. So Browning in a very comfortable spot. Now it is fair to say Gunman was UN on turn 6, so it is back in the deck. Decall is annoying, but not nearly as annoying because of that CRG play. That does stop domination. So the two players fighting in Africa, it's the only region unscored. And now 8 countries in Africa. Well, 7 now to 5 for Browning. And yeah, Chris is in pretty serious trouble here. I don't know that there is much of a path back for him. Okay, Marshall flips Zaire back with authority. Yeah, not a lot of great places. I think Benelux is fine. Yeah, I'm fine just cooing in Africa, getting my mill ops. Down 8 countries to 4, so just best hope here is to just maintain Africa being a +1. But given the way the rest of the regions look, I think that's fine. I would be taking India here, though. That's probably more important. Okay, and there goes Armbus. Yeah, I think 3 India here is good. Let's just take India and an Asia Dom. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and Chris does get to discard. Way ahead on the space race. I might have tried the war, given the 2 VPs and spaced Willie instead, but I think that play is fine. Libs easily repaired. Don't even think we need a 3-op. I think just a 2 is fine. Really don't want to lose Italy to a brush for. Not a lot to do on this board if you're Chris. I mean, jam Pakistan. I mean, there's just very little to do. You're behind in Asia. You're behind in Europe. You're behind in Central, South America, and Africa are even. As is the Middle East. So you don't at this point have even one positive region on the board. No, you have no positive regions. You do not have China. You're down 12 VPs. This is clearly a DEF CON only game for Chris. Afghanistan doesn't really do anything. Okay, and there's Warsaw for ops. So if that weren't enough, yeah, I think Zimbabwe is fine. So there's a Europe attack path now available, and there goes VOA. And this is a monster. Wow. Purge, 2 other 4 ops. Solidarity. Defectors is useless. Another war card, which is just going to go right to space. And then obviously Usuri held over. Yeah, this is a clear purge. Wow, what a monster. PSI Red Eye, thank you for the first time chat. If that compliment is directed at me, then I'm glad to hear it, and you're welcome. If it's directed at one of the other players in the chat, then they should say they're welcome. But in the meantime, Chris deciding his headline, and he's got to be pretty miserable right now, as on the staring on the business end of a purge, with behind in 4 of the 6 regions. Oh. Thank you for the cheer, and I appreciate that as well. What a nice guy. Thank you very much. Hope you will sign up for ITSL this year and enjoy the fun on the competitive level. So here we go. CR was headlined to take China, then Muslim for a coup. Poor roll. Angola flipped back. And looks like Chris was trying to win a chicken game between Usuri and Cultural. Oh, and he headlines Aldrich. Or excuse me, he plays Aldrich on AR2. And that should dump Usuri, because clearly Kennedy will not be used here. That should dump Usuri, and then Chris will be able to hold on to China. It should be clear Usuri. Yep, there it goes. Okay, and then I think Solidarity is fine now that it's no longer going to be a surprise. U.S.-Japan should fill up Japan. Kennedy obviously is not going to be an event here. And now it can't be held, which is key. Oh, Zaire realigns makes sense, and that flips that over and gives Dom back. So Chris could flip Pakistan or India to stop Asia Dom, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he wants to hold on to China and perhaps eke out a DEFCON win. So we'll be heading into turn 10. Gunman is back in the deck. It is in the deck. Obviously, could be in Chris's hand, but Gunman's in the deck. Aldrich is now gone, obviously, but terrorism is around. So hold everything, folks. This one's not over yet. Just us drawing lone gunman and terrorism in the hands of our opponent could flip this thing. So this one's not over. Yep, just retake Angola. Now, of course, war games could stop all of that. Africa looks like it's going to be OPEC. Okay, that should stop any thought that Browning might have of getting to 20. Okay, and that stops headline peak as well, which is not nothing. Browning does need to make sure he stays in war games range in case he gets war games and gunmen. But maybe, just maybe, a little bit of a mistake by Chris to flip Angola back instead of playing Usuri to get China back. Because now he's gotten a little bit of DEFCON issues, does Browning, with lone gunmen and terrorism around. So, okay. Solidarity is a good event. U.S.-Japan will presumably take Japan. And then Kennedy is just a blank 3-op. Yeah, I guess you want to take Pakistan. Although it doesn't really matter at this point. I guess you don't want to get Pakistan flipped on you turn 10. And Browning needs his mill up, so I guess he'll be cooing Africa with Solidarity rather than eventing it. He doesn't need to push in Europe. UN of Kitchen. Well, Browning had an opportunity to trigger Kitchen and get VPs out of it, but he decided to put 1-op in Uruguay and said, okay, he triggers Solidarity. I don't love that at this point. I really would like to see Chris. I want to see Chris get his mill ops. So I wanted a coup in Africa. Yeah, and see, this means Chris loses 2 VPs, so there's a chance. So he falls out of War Games range. Now, he could easily get back into it turn 10 if he gets into a DEFCON issue. But I would like to go into turn 10 in War Games territory. And now, Browning won't. Browning loses 2 VP, not Chris, sorry. Yeah, I would just, that's why I would have cooed with Solidarity, and then we kind of do whatever with US-Japan. Yeah, I would have, and I would have much rather just taken Japan. Okay, do we get gunmen? We do not. We get terrorism, and we get grain. Okay, so GG. Browning takes the victory here with 6 VP and 4 dominations on the board. Yeah, I don't know what poking North Korea does for us. I think just putting the 2 into Japan would have been better. But okay, grain and terrorism will make Chris's life difficult. Junta could put 2 in Cuba and coup Haiti to make things difficult in Central and perhaps threaten control. Hostage crisis is free here, and SOC Govs can go to space unless we see Iron Lady. Latin American debt crisis is not a problem. And Browning can try a Nigeria coup here, presumably, for Africa control. ABM's a good headline, but far too little too late. Okay, and there's a Pakistan flip. Try Nigeria coup. Okay, and he does get the roll. So there's Africa control, even as Asia Dom is stopped. I assume we'll want to take North Korea back. Maybe get some into Japan as well. Or just using China to flip Nigeria is fine. Ooh, a brush to try and get Dom in South America. JR, hope you're still watching. Latin American debt crisis, not an issue. I would overprotect, and sure, another up into North Korea is fine. So junta, I said junta could go to Cuba, coup Haiti. Obviously, much better use of it. Okay, terrorism's good. Ooh, a nice pull. Much better use of it is to flip Haiti and then realign Cuba. So Browning takes the early lead, 1-0 in the 3-game set. Iron Lady goes to space. Would have been 4 VPs for a hit, but also and keep SOC Govs active. AI War though is not active. I think Junta is fine here. No, that's fine too. EEU is a rough card to give up. But obviously didn't want to give the 1 VP of Iron Lady, because that puts Browning in War Games territory. Okay, looks like Jordan is starting his OTSL Silver playoff games now. So we're going to do a raid over there after this one ends. Okay, China Jam. Okay, and Star Wars should do it. Okay, and a 35 VP victory.
So congratulations to Browning for his victory here. How do we do that? Let's check that out. Raid Donzo Bean. There we go. Yeah. Hey. All right. We raided Donzo Bean. Thanks everybody for watching. Get on over to Jordan's stream to watch his game, and we'll see you next time. For Justin Abramson, that was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.